All right. The guys that will not practice today are Roland Wallace with his back. He is making progress. And then Josh Simmons ended up having surgery on that wrist for a fracture and a dislocation. He'll go on to IR, and then we'll just see about the recovery on that, where it goes from there. And then Trey and Jawan won't practice today, but they're making progress going forward. Look forward to the challenge of playing the Texans. A good football team. D'Amico's done a great job down there with that crew. And so we know we've got to have a good week of practice, and the guys were in here today beginning that part. So anyways, with that, time's yours. Esapoa, by the way, will take that spot. Yeah, he'll be the one elevated.
Coach, just on Josh's front, he's been through so much kind of stuff this year. How disappointing is it for him, and how's he kind of doing on the emotional side of this about having to go down for a while?
Yeah, so listen, your kid loves to play football, and that's that part. He's depressed about that part. That's probably the wrong word to say, but he's down about that part. But he's upbeat. I mean, the surgery went well, which was a real positive, and so he feels good about that. And then it's just a matter of coming back. He's did a great job with his knee coming back. He's a worker, so he's whatever he can do to rehab it, he's going to do. That's just how he rolls. So, but yeah.
So the potential view here is hopefully have him available for the postseason. Is that what you're probably looking for?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. They've got to wait just a little bit on that, Herbie, and see how that goes with his recovery. But there's always that chance. Yeah.
And with Trey and Juwan, Jalen and Wanya are probably the ones in line to step up. And Mike Youngman too. How have you seen them evolve over the course of the year of practice or the play time?
Yeah, I mean the one positive is two of the three of them played against them last year, so did a good job. So that they know what they're up against. That's a great defensive front. Great defense. I mean all three levels are really good, and they're number one in a lot of categories there. So defensively, but those guys they're getting themselves ready to go. Yeah.
A couple of moving parts there now on the offensive line. Is Jalen Moore going to be the first man up over on left tackle, or are you visiting probably right tackle with him?
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with the injured guys first. But yeah, that would probably be he'd probably be at the right tackle and Wanya at the left if that's the way it went. Yeah.
Coach, how important has Humphrey been to these last couple of years?
Yeah, all pro helpful. He's a great player there, and a great person, stable. So just you're going to get the same thing every day, and he's going to prep the same way every day, and he's dirty, tough, and strong. So smart.
And when you look at just the fourth quarters that you guys have had, you guys have been in every game, even the ones you've lost. So do you do something different to work on the execution in those moments?
Yeah, what we need to do is take care of some of the little things, the penalty things. They take you out of drives, so you're not scrambling, as you go there. You gotta clean that up, and then some of that got to give the guys the right plays to try to execute to their strengths. So coaching's part of it, playing is part of it, and we all have a piece of that pie. Yeah. But you surely against good teams, you can't have this discrepancy here. Distance between the other team's penalties and your penalties. That shouldn't happen that way in a football game, right or wrong. So I'm not saying they're all correct. I'm just saying when one team's got a bunch and the other team, that's not good for anybody.
You guys were able to get away for 3 or 4 good days. I guess as you approach these last 5, what was the message to the team as you attack it?
Yeah, so it buys coaches time to go back and give them some answers to things, and which is a positive, and then let's go. So you're in the month of December, and you're still in it. So let's go. That's what's important.
And you mentioned on Monday, how do you get the pass rush going?
Yeah, well, I can't tell you exactly, but I mean, we're going to try and make it better. To start with, you've got to win some individual battles, and but there are other things that Spags has that he uses there too. So.
You mentioned their defense gets after the quarterback pretty well. What specifically is it about Houston's defense that you've seen especially over this past little bit, where they've gotten hot?
Yeah. So, well, it starts up front. They've got an active front, and I think their linebackers likewise are tuned in. They can run, tackle, very sound that way. Their back end, likewise, they've got talent on the back end. All three levels, they're solid. I think they all work together, so they've done a nice job.
Leon, you mentioned positive attitude a lot, attacking us with positive attitude. I'm sure there's times where you want to get the team going, kick them in the butt a little bit. Why is it important right now for you guys to maintain positivity through
I'm big on reality. What's real? Why are we where we are? What can we do to fix that? So that's what I look at, and try to give the guys that so they have something to work on. Likewise, as a coach, that's how I look at it for myself, for the coaches. Where are the problems, and let's work on fixing those. And if you do that, it takes your energy to get it right, and that's what we're striving to do.
I guess, what do you see with the reality of this team right now?
Yeah, that we're very close. So we just got to take care of business. I mean, whatever I say here or whatever I say, it's what you do. I mean, that's where you're at. So you gotta do it and fix the issues there because we're very close.
Matt?
Coach, what are the chances we could still see Nazi Johnson from injured reserve come back before the end of the year?
Yeah, we'll have to see on that, Matt. There's always that chance, but we'll have to see where that goes.
You mentioned Poles is taking a good spot. I guess would you guys like to get him back here, and how confident are you in his ability?
Yeah, we thought we saw some talent there, and he knows the scheme, obviously, and we thought there was some growth. He could be a guy that works in somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right, good. Yep, thank you.
It looks like there could be some replacement offensive linemen this week. I guess what's the challenge for you if you know, that comes to be?
Yeah, for us, whoever's going to be in the game, they're going to be ready to roll. So for me, it's just making sure the communication's good, everybody's on the same page, and everybody's ready to play.
Josh had a pretty up and down season, but when he's played, he's been really good. Just what have you tried to instill in him as part of this next chapter in his career, given that he's had to go on IR and get the surgery?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a tremendously talented player, really talented, great at a lot of things. So for him, it's just being able to be consistent, and his potential's sky's the limit for that. So he's a really talented player, and for us, it's just making sure he's on the same page as us as far as communication throughout the plays, things like that. But he's done a great job for us, and I'm excited to see what he does in the future.
What do you make of just where you guys are and what the response needs to be in these next 5 weeks?
Yeah, it feels really close. It feels, just a couple plays here and there each game, and things would be different. So for us, it's just making sure we're coming in with the right mindset every day, doing everything, one meeting at a time, one walkthrough at a time, one practice at a time, making sure we're getting everything we can out of each day and improving each day. And so we do that, we're going to like what we're going to be doing. So for us, it's just about making sure we're being consistent throughout the week and executing when we're supposed to execute.
You've never been on a Chiefs team that had this record this late in the season. Is there a championship DNA in this locker room that can be applied the last month of the season?
Yeah, I mean, for like I just said, it's about consistency. It's about showing up every day. It's about coming in on game day, executing, doing your job, things like that. So for us, it's just about, the ship's not sinking or anything. We're still right where we need to be, just making sure we're coming in and improving each week.
With Wanye and Mike specifically, just how have you seen the course of their development? Because Mike's got a lot of good playing time, but Wanye hasn't done as much. How have you seen their development over the course of practices that makes you feel confident when they come to the game?
Yeah, well, first off, they're both really talented players. They both have all the intangibles that you'd want in an offensive lineman. And Coach Eck's done a great job developing them since they've been here. So for us, it's just, we're confident in them, and we're confident in everybody in the room. So for that, it's just, we're excited to see them get after it, them playing if they're playing. So, yeah.
Reid, what can you tell us about Houston's defense, especially the front?
Yeah, very talented all across the board. All three levels of the defense, very talented. They present a good challenge. So, they have great pass rushers, great players inside, great linebackers, great secondary. So it presents a good challenge. And the guys are excited for it. We're ready to get in here and work throughout this week and get the game plan figured out and show up on Sunday ready to play.
Are they like a blitzing team, stunting team? I mean, how do they get to the quarterback?
Yeah, they play aggressive defense. They're really sound technically, really sound schematically, and play very hard. Everybody has a great motor on the defense. So, whatever scheme they're playing that week, they're doing a great job with it. So for us, it's just about coming out and making sure we match that energy and bring more and just show up with the right mindset on Sunday.
Reid, you mentioned the ship's not sinking. Just how important is that message when you guys aren't getting the results you want?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Like I said, it was all the games have been close. It's a few plays here and there, and we'd be looking at different results. So for us, it's just about making sure we're coming in, being consistent, and executing when we need to execute.
Thanks, Craig.
Yep.
Patrick, Amy described it as tickling tonsils on Monday. But for you, just how do you describe it, just this team's attitude, trying to get in the stretch run? As you said, you got to win every one.
Yeah, I think more than anything, we just got to execute at a higher level, and I feel like we've done a lot of good things, but at the same time, we made a lot of mistakes that we haven't been able to overcome, and so we got to be better in those bigger moments, not make those mistakes, and at the end of the day, go prove it. You got to prove it on game day, and that's something that I believe we can do.
You guys could have 3 backup linemen against Texas. Get your confidence in some of these guys that have to step in.
Yeah, I mean, they're guys that have played, and so obviously we'll go through the week and see where we're at with the guys that are a little banged up. But you got to give the respect where it's deserved, and those guys have a great defensive line, and so we'll try to do the best we can. Is getting the ball out of my hand, running the football, and then whenever there's shots on the field, you got to be able to hit them. And so standing in the pocket, making those throws against a really good defense.
You mentioned that every season's different, so now that you guys are in this spot, can you rely on past year's experience to things to help pull you out, or do you there's some intangibles you need to see this group?
Yeah, I mean, you can utilize some things. I mean, we've played a lot of big games, and so knowing that the speed of the game speeds up and the moment's bigger, and you got to settle yourself and go out there and play your best football. But I mean, I don't know if we've been in this situation this early in the season, and so I think just learning from it together, building together, and then using what we can use from prior seasons to hopefully make a run at this thing and try to get ourselves into the playoffs and see where we can go from there.
You mentioned after the game, just that you guys have been in every game. Is there something specific you can work on in those bigger moments, or just have to let the natural game flow of what you work on normally play out?
Yeah, I mean, you can learn from it, but at the end of the day, you got to make the plays. And that's stuff that we haven't done consistently enough. There's been games we have and we've won, and there's been games when we haven't. And so just having to make those plays in the big moments will get you those wins.
You've, Patrick, in previous postseasons, you've made it very clear that you want to use your legs to be more of a dual threat. Is that something you're going to have to sort of engage on Sunday, given the dire situation you guys are in?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to utilize everything, not just my legs. I mean, you got to utilize everything you have to go out there and win. I mean, this is a really good football team that's playing really good football right now and has a really good defense. And so we're going to throw it all out there and try to find a way to win. And this will be a big game for us to showcase who we are and who we think we can be moving on the rest of the season.
Patrick, we've heard from Reid and Andy, they all say close. You guys are close. What signs do you see that you guys are?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at every game that we've lost this year, we've been right in it up until the end, but we haven't made those plays, and so we're definitely close. But like I've kind of said these last few weeks, you can be close, but you can't be close for too long. You got to go out there and make it happen, and I think we have the guys to do that, but we got to go out there and prove it. And there's another opportunity for us to go out there and prove it this weekend.
What was it like? You know, you guys had some time off. Is there time off for you? Were you in coach's ear talking about game plan stuff already, or did you actually kind of shut it down for a little while and get away from football?
Yeah, I mean, I always talking to coach. So, I mean, obviously we're in a spot in the season where you can have some time off, but you're looking ahead at how to get yourself better to try to make a run. And I'll talk to all the coaches about things that I see and things that I think we can continue to get better and better at. But at the end of the day, they're gonna do what's best for us and put us in the best situation to succeed. And I'll give as much input as I can to help with that. But I trust that they're gonna go out there and put us in the right position.
You mentioned Houston's defense. What's the biggest challenge with what you see when you look at them so far?
Yeah, you got to match their intensity. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, obviously the D-line's good, the linebackers are good, and the DBs are good. But I think what makes them who they are is how hard they play. Every single snap they're flying around, and they're trying to make plays happen. They're trying to intercept the football. They're trying to knock the football out. They're trying to make big hits. And so we got to match that intensity as an offense and as a team in order to go out there and get a win.
How tough has this been to go through for the veterans, guys who've expect success, have had so much success?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough in the sense that we like to win. I mean, I know we all know it's a process, and we all know that we have to just continue to give ourselves a chance and continue to get better. But when you have a lot of guys that like to win, and it's tough when you lose. And so we'll continue to push. I think that's one thing that makes us great is that no one's hanging their head. Everybody's ready to go out there and try to prove ourselves this next week. And it's another great opportunity. It's a great opportunity at Arrowhead to showcase that who we think, like I said, who we think we can be the rest of this season. But it's going to start with Sunday.
Patrick, Humphrey has been the one constant on your offensive line the last 2 years. What do you think of when you think of Creed?
Yeah, he's a leader, man. He's someone that he knows what it takes in order to go out there and have success, and he pushes other guys to match that level. And a great person, but a great football player and a great leader on this team. And I'm glad that's the guy that's kind of leading that offensive line.
December football? You know, what gives you guys, considering the position you're in, which you haven't been in before, the confidence that you can get out of this and make a playoff run?
Yeah, I mean, we've been here before, you know. Coaches always bring about this saying where it's like December to remember. You know, you play your best football in December, and just the attitude around here is understanding where we're at. You know, we have a shot. We're still in the hunt, and we got to just take it week by week, game by game, and make sure we go out there and execute our game plan so that we do have a shot when it comes to playoffs.
As you reviewed the film against the Cowboys, I mean, you were against CeeDee Lamb quite a bit. I guess, what did you take away from your own game moving forward that maybe you can be better at?
Yeah, I mean, definitely cleaning up the PIs, you know, definitely sloppy on the back end. And, you know, sometimes you want calls to go your way, sometimes they don't go your way, but that's kind of out of my control. So really when I was looking at it, I was really hard on myself and just hard on the defense. You know, we let some plays out there that we let go and a few key missed assignments that led up big plays. So really after that game coming into this week, it's all about just fine-tuning what we do. You know, I think that was a big thing we talked about is just making sure when we go out there that we control what we can control. And, you know, they might hit a big play or two, but really just making sure that our details on the back end, our details on defense is not something that's going to give up a game for us.
How close do you feel to the turnovers? It seemed like there were back-to-back plays where maybe it could have changed the game. And how close do you feel to you guys are?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it every week. You know, I think that's definitely a major emphasis that we talk about throughout the weekend. I mean, we have certain drills we do each and every day trying to emphasize that stuff. But when it comes to turnovers, I mean, we're out there trying to get them. You know what I mean? We had a few punch-outs. I mean, a few things, drop balls. But really, I think just the focus is really just catching the ball and just making an emphasis. We got to make those plays. You know, at the end of the day, we can punch it out. We can say this is stuff like that. But, yeah, just making the plays when they come to you.
This may have been the same point you were making before, but when you do feel calls going against you, how do you try to adjust to that going forward, especially within a game? I mean, what can you do to try to say, all right, it's going to be called this way. What do I need to do about it? What can I do about it?
Yeah, I mean, when calls come like that, you don't really want to kind of get out of your game. You know what I mean? You don't want to let calls kind of factor in what you do on the field. Definitely just try to clean things up, you know, grabbing wise and the 5 yards, not getting any contact after that. But at the end of the day, we got to play football. You know, if they throw a flag, they throw a flag. You got to just wash it away and make sure you're able to get ready for the next play.
It seems like everyone's message has been it's close.
Yeah.
A couple plays here or there. It doesn't seem like it's just always the same couple of plays. It's one here where it could be offense, could be defense, could be special teams. How does the team fix that in general? Because it's lots of little things everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think each group, defense, offense, special teams, kind of just got to clean it up on their own, you know. When you look at the games where we do really good, it's a cohesive unit, you know what I mean? Everybody's playing on the same court. Everybody's doing their responsibility at a high level, and we have success that way. And when guys come in and one person makes a mistake and one person over here makes a mistake, and it kind of has that trickling effect, I feel like that's sometimes when we get in trouble. But like I said, I think the game plan we have, the coaches that we have, and just the overall locker room that we have, I mean, the guys understand. The guys know, you know what I mean? And there isn't anything that we hang our heads at or kind of just try to make excuses about. You know, we just attack each week as the best as we can.
Last year, you guys won all the close games.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you probably got a feeling during the year that someone's going to make a play sometime.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it the opposite this year? Do you feel like there's somewhere a little sense of dread that just something's not going to work out, or how do you keep that part out?
No, I mean, we're confident no matter what. I mean, we always talk about no matter what the score is, at least on the defense, like we get the ball to Patrick Mahomes, we always have a chance. And, yeah, this year a few plays haven't gone our ways, and, yeah, we came out on the other end of it. But just the confidence and just the attitude that we are there, we are this team that is good, we're a playoff team, and we can make those plays. I think that's really what we talk about is the positive side of things, making the plays instead of, you know, I wish we could have.
Trent, you played this Texans team twice late last year.
Yeah.
And I know they have a new offensive coordinator, but what do you see in their offense? Any similarities? Can that help you?
Yeah, I mean, they're a confident group, you know what I mean? Even when CJ was out, the offense was still rolling. They were still doing a lot of good things. And I feel like it's one of those offenses that run what they run, you know, and they rely on their strengths. They rely on their playmakers, and they just go out there and they play fast, and they have really good defense. So as a defense on our part, I feel like we got to outplay their defense, and we got to make sure we go into this game just understanding how they're going to attack us. You know, they played us last year twice, but they'll definitely have a few new caveats. But like I said, they're good, and they're strong where they're strong.
Trent, did you take the weekend as an opportunity to get away, or is your mind still fixated on back here?
Yeah, no, I stayed. I stayed around, watched film, got the body right. I feel like bye weeks are really the only time I kind of get away. But these little long breaks, I feel like it's just a good time, not only to just mentally kind of realize where you're at in the season, but also just get off your feet and kind of hang with the guys, you know, kind of stay around, do some things around here, and just stay into football and not really worry about all the other things. Yeah. Appreciate y'all.